last class, let me just go over what we covered. What the things we did was we looked into the difference between a special character and an ordinary character. And amongst the special characters, let me open my book also simultaneously. So just give me a second, please. Just give me a second. Yeah. Yes. So in the special characters, we covered these. If you remember, these are the characters we covered. We covered the full stop or the dot. We covered the caret. We covered the dollar. We covered the asterisk. We covered the plus. We covered the question mark. We covered curly brackets. We covered square brackets. We covered backslash. We covered pipe, and we covered round brackets. I'm not sure whether we have covered all of them, but these are all very easy to understand and to use. And you can do your own research on the net, or you can look through my book, or you can look through any other book. You can. So these are the special characters. I repeat: the dot, the caret, the dollar, the asterisk, the plus sign, the question mark, the curly brackets, the square brackets, the backslash, the pipe. Pipe is for or, and the round bracket. So these were all the special characters we covered. So this you understand. And backslash, as you know, we have covered all that. Then some commonly used expressions with backslash. So we did backslash s to match any white space, backslash capital S to match, which is the opposite. That means it will not match not a white space. Then we did backslash D, any 10 decimal digit 0 to 9. So it is equal to 0 to 9 character class. Then backslash D, opposite of D, stands for any non-digit character. Then W, backslash W, small w, word character includes this. So backslash W is equal to the character class A to Z, capital A to capital Z, 0 to 9. So this is what this thing is. Then capital W is just the opposite. So these things we have covered. Then we spoke about matching groups of characters. So in that we used the asterisk will be matched the previous case. So if it is A asterisk, then there can be 0 instance of A, 1 instance or more than 1. Plus means one or more. Question mark means 0 or 1. M stands for exact M times. And M comma N means from M to N, presuming M is less than N. So this we have covered. You can go over that. You can go over my video. I'm told it is there on the internet. I have not seen it, but I'm told it is there. You can have a look. So then these. So just understand one thing, that backslash, like for example, backslash with something can be for matching or can be an anchor. Anchor means it doesn't match anything, but it only points to a particular part of the string or of the text. So backslash A matches only the beginning of the string. Backslash Z matches the end of the string, which makes sense because A is the first letter of the alphabet. So capital A backslash, this will match the beginning of the string. Backslash capital Z will match the end of the string. Backslash B is the word boundary. That means that backslash B could be the beginning or the end of the word. And caret matches the start of a string, right? And dollar matches the end of a string or line. So these were some of the, so these are the anchors. Anchors means that they specify a particular part of the, string which is being searched. Let me just put off my WhatsApp. It's creating problems. Yeah, okay. So let's move ahead. Then we covered the RE module. If you remember, I told you that RE module has basically got two, the RE module has got two ways of working, two ways. The first way was what is called creating a pattern object, and then from the pattern object creating a match object. So that means when I do RE dot compile, and within brackets I put some pattern, some oblique pat, then this will return what is called a, let's call it my pat. So this thing is an object. This thing is an object. I will show it to you. If you type the type of my object, my pat, you will get capital T pattern. And as I've told you before that in Python, if anything starts with a capital letter, then it is invariably a class. That means if my pat is of type capital P pattern, then you can safely presume that my pat is a class. All right. So we did that. This was the first way. The second way was by using the so-called convenience functions. So here what you do, you will do RE dot search, and then you have to give two parameters. The first parameter is the needle, and the second is your haystack. I like to call it the needle and the haystack because needle is what you're looking for, and haystack is what you're looking into. So needle is your pattern, and haystack is your string in which you're looking for that pattern. So this, and the return of this would be a match object. The return of this would be a match object. These things are important because if you have these basic understanding of how Python works, how object-oriented programming works, then things become very easy for you to do, right? So we did that. Then we moved on to some of the convenience functions we have covered. Then match object search. Then we did the match, the difference between the match and the search method. The match method, if you remember, matches only the beginning of the string, whereas the search will go for anywhere in the string which we are searching for. Then we did this find all and find iter. We did this. Okay. We did this find all and find out iter. And you see the note. You note that this match and search, they both have a pattern and a string, and even find all has a pattern and a string. But find all will return a list, whereas these two will return objects. So it's very important to know this difference, because if you write a script and suddenly it crashes, and for example, if you use the find all method, suppose you write x is equal to find all something comma something, and then you say x dot groups, and groups is a property of the match object, but here x is a list, because what find all method is returning is not an object, match object, but it is a list. So therefore you will get an error if you try to do x dot groups. Therefore you must always know the kind of object which the function returns. If you don't know, you can always do a type. You do a type and the object, and you will get the type of the object, which in this case will be a list. All right. So find iter. I told you that in Python there is a beautiful concept of called iterable. Iterable is basically any collection. A collection can be a sequence or can be a mapping. A collection, for example, a list or a string or a tuple or even a dictionary. These are all collections. Collections, they can have an index or they can have a key. So if they have an index, so you can go over them one by one. That is, so find iter. This method will return what is called an iterable. Iterable means that you can use it in a for loop. You can say for x in something in that iterable, do this, whatever. So when you have an iterable, then you can go over the items one by one. So we covered all this. A quick this thing. Then I told these are the two methods I showed you, that you can use regex in two ways. Method one, create a pattern object. Note that when you're creating a pattern object, you only need the needle. You don't need the haystack, because you just need the pattern. You are creating a pattern object. Then you use a method match or search on the pattern object to create a match object. So this is the first method. You create first a pattern object. Now somebody might ask that why, and on the other hand, if you use the convenience function, you straight away don't create the pattern object, use re.match some pattern some string. Now somebody might ask me, then why have this pattern object? The answer to that is, suppose you need to use that pattern over and over again. Suppose you want to use that, you see these things become important when you are doing, when you're trying to make a script which runs fast and make a program which runs fast. So you create a pattern object and you need to, suppose you want to compare a particular pattern to 1,000 strings, right? So if you use the convenience function, every time this will take a lot of time. However, if you're using the compile function to create a pattern object, then once this pattern object is created, then it can be compared with every string. So this is the reason that you have these two ways of doing things, right? So I have answered that, I hope. Okay, then we did cover all that. Then yeah, we did all that. Then some important, find all we have done. Then substitute. Okay, oh shit. I think I managed to switch off my, wait, just give me a second, please. I think I managed to close my book. Just give me a second. I'm so sorry. Regular expressions. So we did all this. Now today we will be doing some additional. Now let me tell you one thing. When I wrote my book in 2019, the Python was around 3.3 or 3.4 or 5. Now it's 3.12. Many new things have come, including those in regex. So let us now come back to our this thing, and let me just start for today's class. So we are done with this thing. Let me just come for today's class. Okay. So anchor we have covered. Okay. So we have covered anchors. I'll not go over that. I will, I will share. I've created a new, notebook. I spent a lot of time, almost 8 to 10 hours preparing for this particular lecture. So, but let me just show you this script, even though we have done it. So we are doing, this is something we have covered, but let me just repeat. We are using this particular pattern. Let's go over the pattern, \d plus. So this is what? Now you know that \d represents digits and plus represents one or more instances of the digits, right? And now when we run it, let me run this program. Let me see if you know, when I run it, this is 20 right now over here. It will become 21. Let me just show you. Oh, it's 125. So, now let me just explain the script to you. I'm using my P, which is my P is of the type pattern. And I am using the my iter function of the pattern object to find something in this string. So this string is my haystack. This is where I am looking for the particular pattern. And when I get this this will be a match object. I will show it to you, match object. and match object is iterable. So therefore, for match, now this match is a local variable. This is a local variable. That means I have created it on the fly. That means on the fly means on the spot. You should know this word on the fly. It's very commonly used in programming languages. Whenever I say I've created a variable on the fly, that means on the spot. Now, I am doing print match.span. And see this print, let me just clear it out and let me just do it again. Now, you need to understand this print statement consists of three parts separated by two commas. This is the first comma. This is the second comma. So there are three parts. This is the first part. Sorry, there are four parts. There are three commas. This is the second part. This is the third part. And this is the fourth part of the print statement. Now, match span will simply print the span of each of these matches. So when I'm doing digits, then the first two digits will match and the item will be from 0 to 2. Now note that 0 to 2 means index 0 and index 1. 2 is 1 more than the index of the last item. Therefore, it is 1 and 0. This represents 1, 0. From index, now match.span. Now you add span, the span is a method of the match object. Now you see this my eye. Now span will contain the index of the beginning and one more than the index of the end. So span is a tuple. Span is a tuple. That means span in the first case will be 0, 2. Therefore, match dot span 0 will be the first item of this tuple, which happens to be a 0. So from index, so this, let me just clear it out. That means that this whole thing will generate this number 0. And then to index comes over here, to index, and then match span 1, this will generate number 2, which is the second item of the tuple, right? Now come, yeah.
Sorry to interrupt, sir. Sorry to interrupt.
Yes, please.
I want to know where the values from 0 to 2, 7 to 8, 14, 15, 22, 23 have came.
Yeah. Okay. So when I'm using this find iter method on this thing, it is working on the strings using this pattern. The pattern is \d plus. That means it will only pick out, \d stands for a single digit. And \d combined with the plus means one or more digits. That means that \d will match with any, let me just, okay, let me just do this. So \d will match with, so it will match with 0. It can match with 1, 0. It can match with 1, 1, 1. It can match with 2, 2, 2, like that. So when I'm giving this string, so then find item is picking out this 10, this 9, this 8, and this 7.
Okay, sir.
So it's picking out 1, 2, 3, 4 items. And it is giving the index of the beginning and the one more than the end of the string. Therefore, that is why when in the second case it is having a 9, the index is, this is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So index is 7. And one more than that, that is 8. That is, if I put, suppose I put let me put a 9111, let me put this here. So now you can see that the moment I do that, the index which was earlier 7, 8 has now become 7, 12 because there are so many more digits which have come over here, right? Okay. So,
okay, sir.
So the point you need to understand is that match.span, it creates a tuple. It creates a tuple of two items. The first item is the index of the place where this particular match is there in the string. and the second item is one more than the index of the last item in the string which has matched. That is why when I did this first match 1 0, the thing is from 0 to 2. 0 is the index of 1 and 2 is one more than the index of 0. Is that clear? Yeah.
Sir,
No.
yes, sir, clear.
Let me if I do this 1 0 0 0 1 0 0 0 0 1, that means what will happen?
One, two, three,
It
four,
will
five,
become,
seven,
yeah, it will
six.
become, yes, because this is 0, this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4, this is 5. So it will be one more than the index of the last match, which is 6. And match.span. So this is a funny kind of a construction, match.span. This is creating a tuple which has a beginning and an end, one more than end. That is why when I do match.span square bracket 0, it gives me the first item at index 0. And when I do match.span 1, it gives me the index of the second item, which is index 6. Does it make sense? Yeah. Okay. So this much we have understood. Now the next topic is grouping and capturing. So, uh, this is a bit, I don't know, this is important. By placing part of the regular expression inside round brackets or parentheses, you can group that part of the regular expression. This allows you to apply a quantifier to the entire group or to restrict alternation to part of the regex. There's a word called alternation. Alternation basically means that if you're writing A pipe B, this means A or B. So if you have a regex called A, C, A, B, T, then this regex can match with CAT cat as well as CBT, this both the thing, because this is an what is called an alternation. So alternation is an important aspect of this thing. Right. So basically, this can you can put this alternation within brackets, or you can put the entire qualifier, in that area. So that is how it works, right? So and note that you can only use the purpose of grouping. I will tell you, but you can only use parentheses for grouping. You cannot use square brackets. You cannot use curly brackets, because if you use the square brackets, they have a different. They mean a group of characters, and curly brackets, you mean like m comma n. So if you use curly brackets, it will be taken, the Python interpreter will have a different understanding, and it will not think that you're trying to create a group. However, similarly, if you try to use curly brackets also, the Python interpreter will not be able to understand that you're trying to create a group. So if you want to create a group in your regex, then you must use only round brackets. You cannot use square brackets. You cannot use curly brackets. So I hope that is clear. Will become clear. Don't worry. The match object dot group returns the complete match subgroup by default of a tuple or match subgroups depending upon the number of arguments. Don't worry if you don't understand. The syntax is re dot match object dot group within bracket group. So this can be absent. That means nothing. It can be 0. It can be beyond 0 depending upon the number of groups. So this group, I told you, I think I told you that whenever you are using a function or a method, and suppose I have group, or suppose I have a function func, and I write A, comma, B, comma, C, that basically it means that these are optional. And as I explained to you in the chapter on function, that means there are default. That means it could be something like A, comma, B is equal to something, and then C is equal to something. That means if you don't give these values, then also the Python interpreter will take the default values by given in the definition of the function. Therefore, this group is an optional parameter. If you may give something, you may not give something, but there are certain limitations. We'll discuss about that. If you don't give anything, that means that this is basically group defaults to 0. That means it is equal to 0. If you don't give any value, then the Python interpreter will give a value of 0 to the group attribute. Right. Now note that, okay, complete match by default, or else let's do this by, let me just we'll understand this in a minute. So there can be, these are the options. You can use group without anything, or group 0, or group some number, or group some numbers. That means you can write 1, 2, 3, or maybe group 5, 6, 7. But note that if these groups do not exist, the Python interpreter will throw an exception. That means it will only allow to you to access those groups which exist. Therefore, whenever you are doing it, you should be careful about which groups are available. Rather, you should use the thing groups to loop over the. I'll show you. Right. So, okay. So let me first explain this code to you. Okay. So I am doing a match using a regular expression which contains SPON with the asterisk in it. And this is my regular expression. This is my pattern, and this is my string. Right. And I'm saying now I'm print match object. I get this. Then I do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 prints, and I get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 outputs. Let's go over them one by one. Right. The first one, this is simply telling you what will you put. This is print. This is string usually printed as it is. Match object dot group. So what does it do? It prints SP. It prints because this group. Let me just clear it out. Because as you remember that that asterisk can mean 0 or more. So SPO asterisk n will also match with SPN. That means no instance of O. Even if there is not a single instance of O, it will match. That is why this first thing, where this is a group, this is matching with SPN. And the second one is matching with SPON. That is why if you see the index, this is index 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That is why you get the match object 0 to 8. Right? And the match is SPN, SPON. Now, group 0. So therefore, when I ask match, now match object, as I told you, match object, this is an object of the type match. I can show it to you. Let me show it to you first. Let me just let me do this. Let me show you. Let me do this. So you can see that this line of code is giving re.match. Therefore, it is a match object. Now, okay. Now there's another thing which I have not told you. Let me tell you. Let me type something more. Let me say print dir. Let me do this. Okay. So what is happening? So this is, of course, not directly related to your course, but this is a basic Python. You should know it. DIR. This DIR is what is called an inbuilt function of the Python library. So if you give any object inside that function, no, DIR is not a method, it's a function. When I say function, that means it is not part of any class. It is not a method of any class, it's an inbuilt function. You can put any object inside and it will give you all the attributes of that class in the form of a list. And you can say that it's a list because it has a beginning square bracket and the ending square bracket. So it has class get item, copy, deep copy, deriv attribute, directory, doc, all those things are there. So, and then groups, even groups is there, last group. So anytime you need to know because the attributes and the functions of any object which you are creating in your program may be embedded deep inside the source code of some file. So you have two ways of doing it. Either you go and locate that particular class in the source code, which is not very easy to find always, and then try to see what are the methods and the attributes which are being used. Otherwise, you can use this dir function and give the match object inside that, and you will get this thing. So, but this is not relevant to. So let's just this thing. Let us go to what we were looking for. So I'm saying that group 0, group 1, and group 2. So how many groups are created? 0, 1, and 2. Right. So basically, when I'm so these groups are created only because I put this my regex within brackets. Suppose I was to remove this bracket. Let me remove it. Let me remove this bracket, and let me run it now. There'll be an error because there is no such group. Because because now in line number 9, groups don't exist. So you'll understand this, you'll understand. Don't worry if you have not understood. So basically, how group method can be used to extract part of the substring. The following, I'll give another example, you'll understand of how group method can be used to extract part of a substring. Basically, the group method can be used to extract the part of a substring. Remember that group or group 0 will give the entire. Anyway, one thing I didn't tell you, if you do a group or a group 0, which is the same thing, it will give the entire matched substring, right? And then, but if you want only part of this match substring, then you have to use group n, where n is the number of subgroups in the match substring. This may appear a bit complicated, but it's actually very simple and becomes from the following. Let's do this example. So let us do this example. By the way, there's a mistake in my book. In my book, I think I've written is R, and then I've written \D to. In fact, I tell you, mistakes are a great way of learning. And then I've written A to Z, capital A to Z, star, like that. In my book, I have not included them within round brackets. So today, when I was trying to run the code, it was creating problems. Then I understood that this is that is why here, this particular script is taken from my book. But in the book, these round brackets are not there. These round brackets are not there. But now I've created. So basically, let me just show it again. So what I've done over here, I have created. This is my basic regex is \D within brackets 2, which means exactly 2 digits, then a dash, then square bracket A to Z, A to Z. That means some alphabet coming n number of times, any number of times, and then dash, and then backslash. This is not there. \D 4. That means exactly 4 digits. So what this regex will be 2 digits dash, then some text dash, and then 4 digits. So this regex is basically matching with which is looking for a string which has 2 digits, maybe like 00, then a dash, which is this dash, and then maybe something like maybe September or whatever, some string which is not digits, and then another dash which is this dash, and then 4 digits, maybe 1111. So if this string is there, it will be able to match with my this regex. But if there's a string called 000 dash sept dash 1111, then this string will not match with my regex, because there are 3 digits in the beginning. There are 3 digits in the beginning. Similarly, if there was a string called 000 dash 111 dash 222, this will also not match, because there are 3 numbers, whereas the group in the middle is AZ, capital AZ. I hope this is clear. So now notice that here I am not using the convenience function, rather I am using the pattern object. So my P is a pattern object. I can show it to you. If you do type print type my P. Let's see what it gives. Yeah, you can see that this line of code type my P has given you this re.pattern. So, and this pattern object has been created with only one attribute, which is the needle, which is the pattern. There is no haystack, because when you are creating the pattern object, you just need the needle. You don't need the haystack. You just need the pattern. You don't need the string. I'm repeating this again and again, but then okay. Let me run this script. Now this 132 should become 133. It has, therefore it is run properly. Okay. So let's go over the script. So what I've done, I've divided my entire regex into 3 parts. Something dash something dash something. Now these brackets will not change the behavior of the regex per se. That means as far as the matching is concerned, these round brackets have no role. However, the output which comes, or the substring which comes in as a result of this matching, that will have 3 parts, that will have 3 groups. All right. So now I am doing, now in notice that this my P is as I told you, it's a pattern object, and I do a search using only one variable. Now notice here, I just want to point it out again and again. If you use the convenience function, then you do re.search, and you put both the pattern and the string. So this also is search, and this also is search. They have the same name. However, this search is the method of the pattern object, and this search is a convenience function. This search will take only one attribute. This search will take 2 attributes. I hope that is clear. So let me just clear it out. Now I am asking you to print group 0. So group 0, what now group 0 will now this regex will match with this part. 15 because it will match this thing, August will match with this, and 1947 will match with this. That is why when I do this print of my group 0, I get 15 August 1947. Okay. My second, now let me just clear this out and just do it again. My second print statement, this one here, it is printing my S, which is my S is my, now note that my S is a match object. It's a match object because it is a return function of my pattern dot search. So when I do this second print here, then it will print my S dot groups, and I get three groups. I am getting three groups. This 15 August 1947. And why am I getting three groups? Because I've enclosed my regular expression into 1, 2, and 3 parts, separated by this thing, right? So, and my groups, or this is coming twice. And then my group 2. Now this is my group 0, or rather this thing, rather 1. Sorry, my group 1. This is giving my group 2, and this is my group 3. Note that because my group 0, this is very important. This is very important to understand that my group 0 is not the group at index 0, but it is rather the entire string which has matched. That is why it is giving 15 this thing, right? And my group 1 is 15. So if I was to, let me do this print. If I do, let me just put a few X's, and then let me my group ms my s dot group 1. So this should print 15. That is what is happening here. You can see that this line of print with the 3 X's coming here, and my group 1 is printing you a 15. So this is a bit different from the normal behavior of Python, where one index or 1 is supposed to be the second item, but group 1 means the first item, not the second item, because group 0 is for the entire substring. Let me stop there for a second. I just need to understand from you guys. Am I clear so far? Any questions? Any questions? Okay. So let's move ahead.
Okay, fine.
Okay. Now, you see, whenever you get an object in your program, it's going to have a number of attributes and methods. So this match object which we have got, now as I told you again and again and again, match object can be got by two ways: by using the convenience function, or using the string on the pattern object by using the search or the match methods of the pattern object. So once we get a match object, then it has got a start method and an end method. The general form of this is group start group number and end group number. If you have a match, therefore, if you have a match object, say match object, then the match object start group number will give the index of the substring matched by the group, and will give the index of the end of the substring matched by the group. Note that if the group number is not given 0, it will to the entire substring. This is let's do this. And when I run this 96 will become 97. You will see. Oh, 135. I'm so sorry. So let's do it. So I'm having a string with 0, 1, 2 and a number of x's in between, and then 8, 9. Then I'm using the search convenience function of the RE module, giving it two attributes. This is my needle, or this is my pattern, and this is my string. So basically, I'm looking for x plus. I'm looking for x plus. That means plus means one or more instances of x. So when I do match object dot group, so this, now note that x plus is going to match with all these x's, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Therefore, I get these 5 x's over here, right? Now, when I ask match object dot start, it will give me the index of the first item, which is at 0, 1, 2, 3. That is why I get 3. And then when I say match object dot end, it will give me the index of the last x, which is one more than what it is, this 0, 1, 2. Let me just clear it out and just show it to you again. So this is index 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So index of this is 7. That is why you get n to be 8, one more than that. Now, there's another I don't know whether you guys know this. I've done this on purpose just to make things understand. I've created a new string. Notice that I told you that strings in Python are immutable. That means you cannot change the string on the spot, but you can create new strings from the existing string. So what I've done, I'm creating now my string is my string. By the way, string is also having index. So I'm doing my string. I'm doing my str within square brackets colon match object dot start. Now when I do colon nothing over here, that means from the beginning of the iterable to the beginning of the string to to one less than this. So therefore, what am I doing? I am creating a string which is containing of 0, 1, and 2. So this thing will create a substring of 0, 1, and 2 because it is basically my str within brackets start. I'm just using the word start to something. The start is 0 because nothing is there, it is 0. Therefore, it will become 0, which is this 0, and then it will go up till the start, which is at index number 3. So 0, 1, and 2. That means this part of this will create 0, 1, and 2. Okay. Now let's see the other part of this thing. Now my second string is starting from the match object end to there's colon and there's nothing. That means to the end of the string. That means it is starting from index number 8. Index number 8 is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That means it's starting from the 8 and it'll go on till 9. That means this will become 8 and 9. So this has become 0, 1, 2, and this has become 8 and 9. Right? And I'm adding rather I should not use like this because they are strings. I should say they have become 0, 1, 2 plus 8, 9. So this will give you 0, 1, 2, 8, 9. That is why I get my new string as 0, 1, 2, 8, 9. Right? And the span of the string of this match object span is 3 to 8. Is it clear? Any questions so far? Anyone? So I presume this is clear. Let's move ahead. Okay. So I've done one more script on span. Again, I'm using the compile method, the compile method of the RE module to create a pattern object. Then I'm using this find iter method to give it a this is your haystack. This is your haystack. This is your string which is being searched to. And then I use this find now just let me just show it to you. This find iter creates an iterable, and this iterable goes into my I. That is we can use for match in my I this print span. So therefore, when I'm using d plus it will match with 10, it will match with 9, it will match with 8, it will match with 7. That is why you get 0 to 2, which is for this, 7 to 8, which is for this, 14 to 15, which is for this, and 22 to 23, which is for this. If I make it 71, it will become 22 to 24. Let me just show it to you. If I make it 71 here, then it will become, you can see that when I made it 71, the thing became 22 to 24. If I make it 7100, then it will become 24 to 26. So you can see that when I made 7100, it became 22 to 26. So basically, find iter function I'm showing you, nothing very great. Okay. So I don't know. I'm having a very quiet class, which I feel a bit. Are we clear so far? Do we have any questions?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, please. Any questions? Any doubts? Anything in your mind? Let me know before we move forward, because these are all incremental, right? It's like building the top floor without having the ground floor. So if you don't understand any of these things, stop me now, ask me now. I'll try and explain things to you. Yes, please. Okay. So the next topic is capturing versus these topics are not covered in my book. I'll try and share this particular HTML or the notebook with you guys. But because these topics are more of recent development, Python rejects non-capturing groups. So there is a concept of a capturing group and a non-capturing group. You see, I must tell you one thing, that regex has come from Perl programming language into Python. So Perl had developed a huge, very, very huge. In fact, Perl is supposed to be the best language for regex. I think it's now outdated. Perl nobody uses, or very few people use Perl anymore. But that is from where regex has come. So capturing group versus non-capturing group. So these are all concepts. You need to understand. Once you understand these concepts, then things will become very easy. So far, we have used capturing groups to extract information from a bigger match. To do that, you need to create a capturing group. You place a pattern inside the parentheses. For example, some pattern. Let me just clear this out. And so what I was doing, when I did \d star, then something, then something. So these are all capturing groups. That means that they will capture the part of the substring whenever they match. However, and once they capture, you can access it via the group method of the match object. Sometimes you want to create a group but don't want it to capture the groups of the match. To do that, you need to use a non-capturing group with the following syntax. That means that if you create a group like this with a question mark in front and a double colon and then some regex expression. Now note that the question mark in regex has a special meaning. That means the question mark has 0 or 1 times. But if the question mark is coming after the round brackets and it is followed by a colon, then this meaning is different. It means that you are creating a non-capturing group. You are creating a let us do this by an example. Oh, this is a very large example. Let me just copy this part and let me just maybe insert a cell above and let me just put it here. Let me run it. Okay. Okay. So let's just understand this code very just pay attention. So basically, this code is there are four patterns: pat cap, pat and cap 1, pat and cap 2, pat and cap 3. right? Don't get worried. It's very simple. Path capturing is basically \d plus dot, and this backslash before it is there to escape the dot, and then \d plus. So this will match any decimal number. If you have 3.14, it will match. If you have 7.09, it will match, right? But okay, and plus means what? Appear at least once. That means if you have 7, 0, if you have a pure 7 like this, it will not match. But if you have a 7.0, it will match. All right. Now this first print is giving this output. That means that what it has done path capture, which is this dot this. It is put as 3.14, which is this number, 7.9899, which is this number, 8.007, which is this number. It has excluded this 7. But suppose I was to make it as 7.0, then this will also come. So now you can see that this find all has been able to locate this 7 also. So these are the two capturing groups which are being produced in the form of a tuple. So every captured item, every item which has been located by your pattern, and it consists of two parts. These two parts have come out as two different items in the tuple. So you're basically your output in the form of something, a list of tuples, list of 3,14, 7, 998, like that. And note that these are all strings. These are all strings. That is why they are quoted by single quotes, right? Okay. Now let us see the second pattern, which is pattern and not capturing 1. So here what I have done, I have put a opening bracket, question mark, double colon, \t plus. That means this first part of the regex is non-capturing, but the second part of the regex is capturing. That is why when I run this find all pattern with this pattern on the string 400, I put this 400 because whether I'm using string 1, 2, 3, so I thought 400 unless say koi chance nahi will clash, and I get what? I get the decimal portion of all these numbers. I get 14, I get 998, I get 000, and I get 00. If I was to make it 001, it'll give you. Then you can see that once I put it 001, if I put 7001, then this has come. But suppose I was to remove this. Then this 7 will go away. You can see that moment I remove the decimal part, then this n-cap 1, which is this second print statement, it is not having any for 7 because the decimal part is not there, right? Now the third, the next is n-cap 2. I'm using n-cap 2. So what I'm doing over here, I'm creating both. This is a non-capturing, this is non-capturing. That means they have got together 3.14, 7.998, and 8.000. So they are not into two different groups, but rather they are one single item, 3.14, 7.998, 8.000. Is this clear? So I can remove this part, and let me just now because this is a bit long, so let me just remove this part. Now, wait, let me just run this. So we'll try to understand. Just wait. So now just understand there is the now I'm doing for a group in M groups, print a group. So a group will consist of each of the groups in groups, right? I'm using n cap 1. I'm using the non-capturing one. This I'm using. Therefore, it will print the 3 and the 14, which is the because these are the two groups, the 3 part, which is the decimal, the whole number part and the decimal part. That is why you get 3 and 14. When I use capturing, I get 3 and 14, right? And then when I use second non-capturing, I do so I do not get anything because both the groups are gone, right? So let me just show you the second non-capturing. The second non-capturing was like this. So there are no groups. Both of them are non-capturing. That is why you didn't get any output, right? And then for the third this thing, the for the NCAP 3, the regex is \d plus, that means this is capturing, \dot question mark \d plus. So this is the regex. So this is a capturing group and this is a non-capturing group. So we will get only the whole number parts of the numbers. We will not get any decimal parts. That is why I get a 3. That is why I get a 3. All right. All right. So is that clear? Any questions so far? Anyone wants to ask me any questions, please do so now. Anyone wants to ask me any questions, please do so now.
No, sir.
Balaji, are you there? Balaji? Okay, Balaji is gone, I think. So I think we can move ahead. Greedy versus non-greedy matching. So, quantifier meta characters like star, plus, and question mark. Star means what? Star means 0 or more times. Plus means 1 or more times. Question mark means 0 or 1. And even m, comma n. It means minimum of m and maximum of n. So suppose you had C 0, 3. Then and you had a word called C, T. So it will match it. It will try to take as many C's as possible. It will try to take 3 C's because it is greedy. It wants to take the maximum number of characters which it can. It wants to take the maximum number of characters which it can. That is why it's called greedy. Now, not every time in this thing we want greedy. Sometimes we want the opposite of greedy in regex is called lazy or non-greedy. So, and so we have what is called a greedy qualifier. This is a very funny term. Greedy qualifier means something which makes the greedy to be non-greedy. So remember, greedy qualifier, the term greedy qualifier is something like, it's something like, it's something which qualifies the greedy, it's something which converts the greedy into not greedy, right? So question mark is the greedy qualifier. Let me just draw this again. Question mark is a greedy qualifier. Question mark is a greedy qualifier. It qualifies the greedy behavior into non-greedy, also called lazy behavior. So when you have star, it means that 0 or more times. But if you use star, comma, a question mark, suppose you use C star question mark, and you have a B, D, it will match. It will match. And suppose you have A, C, D, it will match, right? Because it will try to use the minimum numbers, right? This will become from the following existing. Let us do this with an example. So I have created a pattern which is within quote angle bracket dot asterisk angle bracket within quotes. Now, do you know, or you guys all know that dot is any character except a new line. So that means if it is a hash, if it's an alphabet, if it's a number, it will match. And dot, this thing, means any note, dot also includes white spaces. It doesn't include new lines, right? So dot asterisk would mean all characters, right? Okay. So, and this is my, wait, let me clear this out. So this is my pattern. This is my greedy pattern, and this is my non-greedy pattern. We'll talk about it later. And this is my string. So it is having angle bracket, close angle bracket, angle bracket, close angle bracket, angle bracket, close angle bracket, like that. Now, what I'm doing? I am doing now in my greedy, my pattern is angle bracket dot asterisk angle bracket. So ideally, somebody who doesn't really care or know about greedy would think that this should match with this part. Let me just clear it out. So that means that angle bracket dot asterisk angle bracket. What should it match with? It should match with this, right? It should match with the beginning angle bracket, then this exclamation doc type HTML and the closing angle bracket, right? But let us see. Does it do that? Let us see. Let us this will become 140 or something. Yeah, 143. So what is happening? I am asking it to print the span. This line of code, I am asking it to print the span. The length of the string is here. This is giving, that means this string is having 45 items. And when I ask it to print the span of this match, it is giving me 45, 0 to 45. So that means that the entire string is being read by asterisk this. Now, the question arises that why is this happening, right? Why is this happening? The answer to that is that, let me just clear this out. You need to understand the concept of backtracking. Backtracking. Let's listen to this backtracking. So what happens is that the dot or the full stop and the asterisk, they will consume the entire string. That means they will take the angle bracket is there. So they will take and this is also there. They will take all this till the end, including the angle bracket. But the problem is that there is an angle bracket at the end. Now, so therefore it will do backtracking. Let me just make some change, then you'll understand. Let me put over here A, B, C. Or let me put over here. So Now see that the length of the string has become 49, but the grid is 45. That means what has happened is that this dot asterisk, because it can match with any character, it will match with everything till here. And once it reaches here, it realizes that it needs to have a closing angle bracket. So it starts moving backwards. It goes to C, doesn't match, goes to B, doesn't match, goes to A, doesn't match, goes to this and matches. That is why it is giving this part of string. Right? Let me just change it. Let me just remove this. Let me just remove this. And now let me run. So what is happening now? So now the greedy algorithm went from here right up till here, and it looked for a closing angle bracket, and here it found at item number 37. That is why it has become 37. So, and if I remove this also, suppose I remove this. I remove this. Let me run it again. So what is happening now? So now the greedy algorithm, it is consuming all the characters right up, because the dot and the star will take every character. But then it starts moving backwards, and it looks for the first closing angle bracket which it finds over here, right? And let me remove this also. In fact, let me remove all of them. Let me remove this. Let me remove this. And let me remove this also. And let me put an angle bracket here. Now let us see what happens. So you can see that now what is happening? It has become 0 to, the length of the string is 45, but the greedy is giving 0 to 4, which is 0, 1, 2, 3. This is an index. And I told you index plus 1. That is why you're getting 0 to 4. So is that greedy concept clear to all of you guys? Let me just first understand.
Yes, sir. Greedy concept.
Yes,
clear.
sir.
So if anybody has any question, you can ask me now. And the concept of backtracking also, I hope, is clear to you guys.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So we'll leave this. Okay.
Sir, if we remove a dot from the beginning of in this code,
If we remove the dot from the pattern, you are saying that we remove this dot. That means you are saying that in the pattern you are saying in this dot.
yes.
So this dot is basically matching anything other than a new line. So it's matching every character except a new line.
Okay.
So if you remove it, then this is a multiplier basically. So if you remove it, then how do you this thing, right? You can't. If you remove it, it'll give you nothing. It'll give you zero error. It'll give you nothing. Let me show it to you. Error, because the span won't work.
Okay. Yeah, it's got giving error.
It'll give an error, right? So how backtracking works in greedy? The regex engine starts matching from the first character in the string. The character in the beginning. See, the point is that we are having a greedy followed by a match by a character which is also consumed by the greedy. So यहाँ हो क्या रहा है basically when I have a dot this thing like this. So अभी जैसे suppose I had something like hat and then cat. So ये जो closing ये इससे नहीं आ रहा है. ये जो डॉट स्टार है वो इसको भी कंज्यूम कर ले रहा है. This is consuming this also. This is consuming this also. So it goes all the way till the end, and then it starts going backwards to look for the backslash. Right. So finds the first double quote man. Let us do another. Let us do another one. So here again, I have a greedy pattern which is dot plus within quotes and within single quotes. So there's basically I'm looking for something within quotes which is any character which is appearing at least once. So this will match. Let me just so within quotes dot plus double quote. This will match double quote A, double quote B, double quote hash, double quote, maybe at BC. It'll match all these things, right? This is the pattern. Okay. And then now I'm having the strings. Let me just show you. My S1, I've created 3 strings. R is there as a raw string. R, hi, man, and woman. So man is within double quotes and woman is within double quotes. And then this woman, then this is the string number 1. In string number 2, the woman, the beginning double quote is there, but let me just show it to you again. So in the first string S1, the woman is having double quotes on both sides. In the second string, the woman is having no double quote on this side. In the third string, there are 3 double quotes. And then I've created a list of these 3 strings. And then I'm going to iterate over all these 3 items. That means in the first iteration, item will be equal to S1. In the first iteration, item will be equal to S1. In the second iteration, it will become S2. And the third is S. That means this outer loop will be executed 3 times, right? And then within the loop, I'm saying matches. That means all the matches go to the finiter. Pat greedy, which is my pattern, this pattern, comma item. Now item is S1, S2, and S3. And for match and matches, match dot group, right? So this is my this is my script. So let me just see how it runs. In the first iteration, it matches man and woman because the man has double quotes and the woman also has double quotes. Both of them get matched. In the second item, now again you see, if it was not greedy, it should have only come out with man, because the beginning of double quote is here, the end quote. But what happens? It does the man goes till the end and then goes backwards to look for the double quote. That is why you're getting man and double quote. Because my pattern is single quote, double quote, dot, star, double quote. This is my pattern. So my pattern has to begin with a double quote and end with a double quote to find the match. So my dot and star, it consumes the entire string. It consumes this entire string till woman. And then it realized that it has to end with a double quote. It started moving backwards till it found the double quote. That is why man and are there. Does it make sense? Man and. Does it make sense? Any questions?
Okay.
On backtracking? Now, in the third part, in this string, it consumes the entire string and looks for the first instance of double quote, and it is able to find this at the beginning only. That is why all the 3 double quotes are there. Okay. So this is how this works. I tried to do a timing of it, and but forget it. Timing is I don't want to confuse you guys with concepts of timing and all that.
So, sir, what is the difference between plus or asterisk? So,
Yes. Asterisk is 0 or more times. Plus is 1 or more times.
okay.
Okay. So plus there has to be at least one instance. So like I told you that S SP asterisk N OSP SP O asterisk N, it will match with SPN. That means 0 instance of O. But SPO plus N will not match with SPN, it will match with SPON, it will match with SPOON, it will match with SPOON. But it will not match with SPN. That is the difference, right?
Yes, sir. Got it.
Okay. Backtracking does not work for lazy regex. So, therefore, Therefore, if I was to modify my regex, my earlier regex was, if you remember, double quote dot plus double quote. This was my regex enclosed in single quotes because I have to give it in the form of a string. Now what I have done, double quote dot plus question mark double quote. Now this question mark, as I told you, it's a qualifier which converts the greedy into a non-greedy or greedy into a lazy. So let's just see this again. Now let me just run this first. Let me just just to tell you guys, this is 73. This will go to one something. So yeah, it's going to 150. Okay. So now what I've done, I hope the screen is clear. I've done dot plus question mark. Now my string 1 is same, string 2 is same, string 3 is same. Now when I do the first match, it prints man. That means it does this, right? And the second match is woman. So there are two matches. There are two matches in the first string. Let me just write over here, print something. Let me just do a XXX. So just to show you guys that this XX I put so that I can tell you that these two, see this print XXX is outside this loop. That means this loop is getting printed twice for item number string 1. It is getting printed once for item number string 2, and it is getting printed thrice for item number string 3, right? Okay. So because in the first string there will be two matches, in the second string there will be only one match. In the first string there will be two matches, this and this. In the second string there will be only one match, this. In the third string there will be three matches, this first match, then this one, and then this. So this is what we will get, the three quotes within this. And note, by the way, if I put another quote over here, then you'll have four matches. No, it is still showing this thing. Anyway, you guys need to work this out. Even I'm not very sure about it. So is this clear? Let me just stop over here for a second, and because backtracking is an important concept in regex. So if this is clear, then we can just move ahead. Anyone? Are we good?
Yes, sir. Backtracking is clear. Thank you, sir.
Okay. So let's move ahead. Backtracking is clear. Then alternation. Alternation will just this code has been taken from the Microsoft website. This website is there. Let me just click it for you guys. The only problem, this is backtracking in regular. The only problem is that this code is in C++. This code you can see. So you can see that this is the string needing a read, and this is the pattern. Ignore this thing, this. So I've converted this code of C++ into Python code. So I'm using the same code but in Python. You can see here. So what I'm having is original in C++. This is the link. I will share this HTML with you guys. E2 is not an optional parameter, right? E2, why? Because E2, what does it mean? and \w/b. What does it mean? It means that exact two instances of E followed by some other letters and followed by a word boundary, right? So it will match needing, need, it will match need. No, it will not match needing, because after there's only one instance of W. After the need, NED, if it was nothing over here, then it will match, right? But since there's an I after the D, let me just show it to you. Just understand this. Just understand this. This pattern is two E's followed by one letter followed by end of the word. So read is matching with this regex, but needing, NEED, and there are more letters of there should have been end of this. If I do a need and then I do a ing, if I create a space over here, then I'm good. Then you can see that the span becomes 1 to 4. This is what it becomes, right? And EED, right? But if I was to, notice that the span here is 1 to 4. The span is 1 to 4. But if I join this back again, if I do it again, then the span changes. Then it becomes 11 to 14. That means now it is matching this speed. Yeah. Right. So this is what it is. Any questions? This is the explanation you can see from the book. Let's move ahead. Another example of backtracking. Let's see. Now, don't get worked up by these huge numbers. S400 is a string and PAT400 is the pattern. So it's a raw string. Essential safes are provided by regular expressions. And the pattern is dot asterisk dot es. Now again, this is a very greedy. This is a very greedy regex. It will consume all characters, including the E and the S. So what it will do? It will run from here right up till here, and then start moving backward, looking for an ES, which it will find over here. So that is why essentials are provided by regular express. That means, just let me show it to you again. So that is what is happening. It consumes everything till here, and then it goes to S. It's looking, then it has to look for ES. Doesn't find here, doesn't find here, doesn't find here, and finds here. That is why the essentials are provided by the regular express. So express, EXPRES. This is another example of backtracking. Is it clear? Yeah. Any questions? Huh? Any questions? Okay. This is a slightly confusing topic, even it's not even very clear to me also, but let me just do it. There is a magic function, in Jupyter notebooks, there's a thing called a magic function. Magic functions. So magic functions, one of them is percentage time. Time it. So this will give you the time of execution of that entire cell, right? So let's do it. Okay, now, but let me just explain the code to you. Now, basically, I'm having a very funny kind of a regex. I'm having a very funny kind of a regex, which is let me just give me a second. It is caret A plus dollar. So caret means beginning of the line, dollar means end of the line, right? No problem. So it is a line. A plus means any number of A's, at least one. It could be 1, 2, 3, 4. And A plus plus means that many multiples of what is inside, right? So if you have a A inside, if you have two A's inside, then this would mean 4 A's or 6 A's or 8 A's, like that. Now, what is happening over here? I'm having 27 A's. Let me just run this program. Just it'll take a second. By the way, this is taken from the Microsoft web page, and so I've given the link. So it is happening in 151 microseconds per loop, and this thing and 7 runs, 1000 loops each. This is what it is. Now, so basically, why this problem is? Let me just remove this, and let me run it again. हो क्या रहा है इसमें क्या हो रहा है कि ब्रैकेट में it starts with maybe 2 A's, then 3 A's, and multiplies them and tries to increase it by and large. When it reaches 5, then it is able to cover 25 out of the 27, right? And then it starts moving backwards, looking for the end of the line. Anyway, I have myself not understood this code very well, so let me just skip this. Let me just now next up, I'll come over this again next time. I'll tell you. The other point is atomic grouping. Grouping can be made atomic with question mark pat, where pat is the pattern. This causes the sub-expression to be matched independently of the rest of the expression, such that it becomes fixed for the remainder of the match unless the entire is abundant subsequent. We'll understand this by an example. For example, let us say A. Let me just clear this. A alteration BC BC. Suppose this is my pattern, right? And I am using capturing groups. So I'm having BC alteration B. That means either BC or B. That means this regex will match with A, B, C, C if this is used, or A, B, C if this is used, right? That means it can match with both A, B, C, C and A, B, C, right? But suppose I use atomic grouping. Now, atomic grouping is something which has been introduced in Python in version 3.11. So if you're using an older version, my laptop has got version 3.9. So what I can do is I can maybe take you guys to one of these online Jupyter notebooks, and we'll do it. So, but first understand the concept. So if I do atomic, wait, let me just clear it out. If I create atomic grouping, if I'm doing atomic grouping, that means I'm doing A within brackets question mark greater than, which is the symbol for atomic grouping, BC oblique B C. Then this will fail to match. Then this will match with A, B, C, C but it will not match with A, B, C. Why? Because having taken BC, it becomes fixed. That means it will not go to B. So if you get an A, B, B, C, sorry, A, B, C, A, B, C, C, it has taken B, C and then C. So it will match with A, B, C, C, but it will not match with A, B, C. Because if you have A, B, C, then it will take A, B, C, C, which will not match with A, B, C. I don't know if this is clear, but this is not. Let me just show it to you on a. So, okay, let's do this. So, okay. I've not tried it, but let me just try it out. We'll copy the. Let me write M1 is equal to RE dot search path 300, comma, string 300, print M1. Okay. So this I am getting a string of ABCC and I'm using A question mark. This is the thing for B, C, atomic groups B, C. So let me now try and see if it matches with ABC. Okay. So I'm removing one of the C's. Let me run it again and I get a none. That means that ABC is not matching with this. And I have to use this online Jupyter notebook because this is having version 12, version I think 11 or 12, but my Jupyter notebooks is 3.9. Is it clear so far? Let me just stop for a second and then we can move ahead. Somebody would like to comment? Yeah, anyone?
Sir, what is atomic in this?
What is
Atomic in this.
atomic is that it is independent. That means it is on its own. It is matched independently. It is matched independently. The rest of the expression.
Okay.
So that the match becomes fixed. That means once, like in my example, once we had A, B, C, C, or B, C. Once it is A. Once it is got A, B, it is matched with this. With this, it will not allow the other match to happen. It got fixed. Whereas because I put it as a question mark. This thing. I made atomic. Had I not made atomic, had I written simply A, B, C, B, C, then it would write both alternate. It would write A, B, C, C, and A, B, C. But if it is preceded by a question mark and a greater than sign, then the regex engine will treat it as an atomic grouping. It will not allow the second part of the alternation to occur.
Okay, sir.
these things these are a bit, let me just, okay. Now, suppose I want to find, I'm having a string of numbers, right? I'm trying to find a number which is larger than 100, right? So if I use D3, comma, it will not work. Why? Because even a 0, 0, 0 would come in this, right? So what I do is I do 0 asterisk backslash D3, 3 comma something. That means more than three or more digits. Now if I do not use atomic grouping, if I don't use atomic grouping, then what will happen? Then what will happen is that, just let me, have I made a mistake here? Okay. Then what will happen is that it will show me all the numbers including 003, because this 0 asterisk is consuming the first two zeros of 003, and this D3, this thing is giving you, or rather, sorry, is giving the other three digits of 003. So therefore it is working like this. But suppose I was to, now this I can't use here because it is not there in my because my machine doesn't take it. Let me just try it again on this thing. And let me remove the comments. Let me make it here. So now this print is giving this using this atomic regex. It is saying that 0 may be there, but then this 0 will not form part of these three digits. So these three digits have to be independent, 3 or more, than this 0. That is why you are able to get 5 digits, even though the first is zeros. If I did not use this, if I used this regex, then this 0 will become part of those three digits. That means even this would be 00, this will come, 001 will also come. Does it make sense? Yeah. Anyway, even if it doesn't, don't get too much worked about it. I think we can stop here because there's a lot to cover projects. I don't think we are able to do today. So shall we stop here? It's already 9:15. Anyone? Balaji, are you there?
Yeah, I'm very much there, sir. We can finish it off here. Team, just stay back. We have something more to do.
So Balaji, but before I go, I would like to just take some feedback from the students. Are they able to follow? Because we have covered almost, I think, 8 or 9 classes. I don't know. I don't have any feedback about the kind of whether they're able to follow what I'm saying, what I'm writing. Because I put a lot of effort in doing my this thing, so I don't know whether and it's not worth it if people are not able to follow it. So just a little bit of feedback. So is everything becoming clear to people, or is there any problem?
What I will do, sir, tomorrow, we'll have a formal feedback from the team.
Right. Yes.
Send a link and we'll get a feedback.
And the way forward, I would like Balaji is that from here we can. So if your students are slightly mathematically oriented, then I would like them to do into vectors and matrices, little bit, very little, and eigenvalues and those things, because if you're into data science, you need them. But if you're not, then you don't need. Then we can do a little bit of pandas and then a little bit of mapping if you guys are interested. So there are two very beautiful
I
libraries.
think sir, pandas, mapping, and
yes, and
request library. request
Request, yeah,
libraries.
request will do. Request is not a problem. Request libraries will do along with Beautiful Soup and all those libraries will do that. That's not a difficult thing.
Correct.
But mapping libraries, because there are a lot of concepts in mapping.
Correct.
There are more than 100 types of projections. When you project a round a sphere on a piece of paper, then there are a lot of those things. So if you guys are interested, then we can go into that. Geomapping is a complete area on its own. I can give you an introduction to that also, and then natural language processing and some of those libraries also we can cover. So that
NLP, sir, we'll cover NLP. Request, and then
all right. So
we'll take, sir, 4 or 5
Because-
more classes.
yeah, because the next 3 days is off for me because till the Shara is a holiday.
We'll just take the consent of the team, and then we'll have some
Yeah.
longer,
You please do
longer
that.
hours
And
in the
I think
daytime.
regex मैंने जितना कर था मैंने करा दिया है. अब इसमें कुछ चीजें छूट गई हैं, which are there in my book. But then there is a limit to.
No, I think we have covered, sir. Regex we can skip from here. We have covered significantly.
Yes, there's
for
only
Osint,
one.
I
There's
think-
only one important
I
topic
think we have
called.
covered.
They're called look around assertions. That is still there. Look around, look ahead positive, look ahead negative, look behind positive, and look behind negative. I've given a very small introduction to this topic in my book, but I'm trying to make my another HTML. I'll share it. I'll put it on my GitHub page very shortly. So look around is another important part because I think that एक point के beyond regex is a complete book of 1,000
Book है,
pages.
sir. वो पूरा का पूरा book है, sir.
So you can. All right. So I think thank you all for being so patient and listening to everything. So let's stop over here. All right. I'm just stopping the share.
Team, just stay back for 2 minutes, okay? Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, how is it? Regex. How many of you have actually gone through the regex book that I have shared with you all? Should I make a poll? Give me 1 second. Let me make a poll. I think it's okay. Just leave it. No problem. Let me end the poll. I'm getting upset with that actually. I think we need to do a lot of catch up. That's the one message out of the poll result. Instead of sending it to you, the message, only 6 people have read it, which means, many more to catch up. So my request will be that, finish the book. That's a mandatory part of it. Okay. Saturday and tomorrow we are going to have some longer hour. Is that okay with all of you?
Sir, tomorrow I will be not available.
No problem. If you're not there, one person is okay. 4 or 5 people are not there. It's a very regular phenomena, so it doesn't matter. So we'll have a daytime and a longer hour, okay? Or we'll also reconvene in the evening hour, because we have a lot to catch up. And while I have all desire to make you all comfortable with the complete missing.
So can you please just specify tomorrow the timing in the of the morning class?
Morning will be 11 o'clock to around 1 o'clock. 2 hours class will be there, which Anurag Gupta sir will take.
And in the evening?
Evening will meet around 7 o'clock, 7:30, and we'll go up to 10:30. 3 hours will go for tomorrow in the evening.
Tomorrow will be a hectic day.
Yeah, tomorrow and day after tomorrow is going to be hectic day, because we have to catch up, because we have overboarded on the syllabus actually. For Osint, I was planning not to cover many of the topics which I covered. And we did it purposely because that puts a very solid foundation for each one of you from learning perspective. So if you do the practice every day, what you have been taught, covers significant amount of, Python. Even after paying 50,000 rupees, you will not get this type of class. So my request will be that next 4 or 5 days are going to be very active. We have to finish the course by 26th. And our next course, forensics, is starting. So we cannot do overlapping for that, but we can do the overlapping. But some of you have joined that course, so you will miss. So
Yes, sir. I have joined the course, so I will miss the classes.
correct. Yeah, correct. So it will be difficult for some of you. So we'll try to finish it by 25th, and we have just 5 days to go. So we need to put around 20 hours class are left. So we'll cover it up as fast as possible, and we'll do some practical as well. So for tomorrow, I think, the one task is for all of you in the, now till tomorrow, read the book. At least reading should not take much time. Okay. Finish the readings, okay? Just give me 1 second, okay? Give me 1 second. So just cover it up, regex from today and tomorrow, whatever time we have. And tomorrow, 11 o'clock, we are joining. And then second half, we are joining at 7:30. Okay. So it will be difficult for some of you, but that's fine. I think, we have to move forward.
Fine, sir.
Okay. Chalo, all the best. Bye.